Hello and welcome to this blade steel guide. This is for VG-10 and here is a selection of VG-10 steel blades. What is VG-10? Well, it's a stainless steel. What does it stand for? Well, the VG-10 or V-Gold 10 or V-Kin, and Kin, Japanese, means gold, and obviously gold means quality. Mainly made at the Takefu Fukui Prefecture in Japan. That's where it was originally designed, and almost all VG-10 steel is made in Japan. Other than Spyderco, it's also used by Hattori and Hero brand knives. SOG use it on a couple. Richardson, Sheffield use VG-10 Damascus, and Niven use laminated VG-10. What's its chemical makeup? Well, it's got 1% carbon, 15% chromium, 1% molybdenum, 0.2% vanadium, 1.5% cobalt, and 0.5% manganese. And it's this small amount of other metals that give it its unusual properties, which one of them is its ability to hold its edge, and it's got very high corrosion resistance too. Sal Glesser himself has said that it ranks very highly, getting very sharp, staying sharp, and has high corrosion resistance and toughness. So he really likes VG-10. It is better than OS8, if you were wondering. Whether it's better than S30V is really up to you. Ease of sharpening, how sharp you can get it, and its value, I'll probably say it would be. Remember that S30V from my last video, it's the main makeup of the cost of the price. It heavily influences that. Now, the different styles you have, I mean, these are all my examples here. So I've got two Delicas, two Enduras, a Sprint Run Wayne Goddard, and a Sprint Run Calypso, and also the Shemprock. I don't think I've got any other knives, but you guys probably know my knife collection better than I do now, and so I hope I haven't forgotten any, but I thought I had way more VG-10 knives, but I guess not. Moving back to the style, you can see I've mainly got plain edge versions of the VG-10. It's not as sharp as a plain edge. For serrations with VG-10, it just messes with the structure a little bit too much. Whereas the opposite can be said for H1. It's better to have serrations. Serrations on H1 is actually sharper than plain edge VG-10, if you wanted to know. Anyway, I hope that helps. I say it's a mid to high end steel. It's almost high end steel, but it's a mid usable, durable steel. You know, made in Japan. You can get it very sharp, and it's a lot of people's favourite steel. Holds its edge very well, and it's got great ability to withstand rust. If you heard of that Nut and Fancy guy, well, I think he left his out on some snow for a whole night, and there wasn't any rust. But I have never had any problems with any rust or issues with any of these VG-10 knives, and I do use them. Whereas S30V, I've had a couple of times where it's rusted slightly. So just to put that in perspective, what you get is the hardness of a carbon steel, but the corrosion resistance of stainless steel. Because it's only got a little bit of carbon in, and this makes it great for knives that will be abused a lot. So you can EDC this if you obviously live in a country where locking folders are not against the law to carry, unlike here. This would be a great EDC knife. Yeah, some people do say that the scales are quite cheap, but they're strong and they're very light. It means that a knife of this size is very light in your pocket, and you don't really feel it. And coupled with the steel itself, just makes an ideal EDC choice. I think I've got an EDC video out somewhere that basically says that the Delica is one of the best EDCs for its price point. Obviously, you don't really see VG-10 used in machetes. However, you could chop to an extent with the Shemprock. I know you don't see really long machetes with VG-10, but that's another point to make. Yes, it does have a great ability to hold an edge, and it doesn't take that long to get sharp. It's very easy on the Sharp Maker or any sharpening system. It doesn't take very long at all. For its price point, obviously S30V costs more, but its other competitor, if you will, is now N690 CO. However, that is costing more. If you go on various websites, you'll probably see that for the same price as a 2.5 or 3 inch N690 steel blade, you can get an Endura, and there's not a huge amount of difference between VG-10 and N690 in terms of like cutting performance and all the rest. N690 might be just a little bit ahead, but they really are very, very similar steel, so it's up to you whether you think N690 is worth it. To me, I think VG-10 is just as capable and a very, very decent blade steel. So the question at the moment really is, do I go for a blade with VG-10 or N690? You know, for £5 more or whatever, you can get an Enduro with a much larger blade. I love N690, but I think VG-10 is just as capable. It is a nice steel, and if you were just getting into knives as well, and you were in an environment where humidity or rust was a bit of an issue, you're probably best off picking up one of these knives instead of like something like a Tenacious or an 8CR13 MOV blade, because if you are in a place like that, the chances are that one of those blades might rust or corrode on you, whereas if you get a VG-10, you haven't really got any issues there, and it'll help you practice your technique for sharpening. So its ability to hold an edge well and withstand rust has made VG-10 become a popular steel for professional chefs. The VG-10 is used by quite a few chefs in Japan because of those two reasons, but also on a EDC camping kind of practical use, especially like the Shemprock as well. It would be a great steel for going out hunting, food prep. That's ideal. Preparing vegetables, preparing meat, you name it. This is a really good camp kind of knife for you to use for food prep. It's gonna not withstand rust, and it's gonna hold its edge quite well, and also it's quite easy to sharp. So prices, it's actually quite reasonable. I think you can get an Endura for about $50, $50 or $60, something like that. Over here it's about £60, which is about $90, $100, something like that. So yeah, it's quite reasonably priced. I mean, it depends. If you've never really bought knives before, I'd probably say £60 or £70 is quite a lot of money to throw on a knife. But if you're only needing one knife or whatnot, I mean, this is an ideal sharp knife for I don't know, in the kitchen. It being FRN, you can literally just throw this in the dishwasher and use it as a normal kind of kitchen knife that's obviously folding and you know, can be put in a safe place. So thanks ever so much for watching me today. I have got some more requested knife videos on their way, and I will be doing another blade steel video in the next few weeks or so. Any suggestions on what blade steel, preferably a steel that I've got, something like 440 or OS8, would really help me out in determining what I should use for the next video. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Take care.